Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Line Developer Day 2019, Day 2. I am Tomohiro Ikebe, Executive Officer and Head of Service Development here at Line. I hope you're excited for Day 2 as we are. So this is the opening of Day 2, and I would like to speak about three things. It's still in the morning, and this is an opening session. So I will not be talking about something deep and profound. I would like to keep this nice and relaxing and light. Please feel relaxed and kick your feet back as you listen to my opening session, as well as I settle my own nerves. So the three things that I would like to mention. First is about this event, Line Dev Day. I would like to give a quick recap of day one and also a synopsis of our thoughts of what to come. Also, Line provides various products for developers. And we have developer products, which are tools for our developers. For this, I will have another person in charge come to speak about the developer products. And finally, I will explain the Line engineering culture. The engineering culture is essential for Line as a platform who produces and develops products. And this is the backbone of our development. So this is day 2. How many of you were here for day 1? About half of you. Thank you very much. So this may be a recap for some of you who were here yesterday. But this is what happened in day 1. Okay, let me talk about Line Developer Day. This is the 5th year to hold Line Dev Day in Japan. Until last year, this event was very heavily engineering-oriented. But this year, not only do we have speakers from Line about engineering, we also have product managers, designers, and guest speakers on stage. Last year, we had many guest speakers who were willing to speak on at Line Developer Day, and we have more coming this year. Together, we have many interesting booths available this year as well. So we have many information that we want you to take home as much as possible. And with this, we made Dev Day a 2-day event. So each day is set with a different theme. The theme for day 1 was engineering, starting with server-side, AI, infrastructure, security. Most sessions focused on technology. The theme for day 2 is production. We have sessions about client-side, UI, UX, project management. So these are more practical sessions of the broader sense of product development. So we made this 2-day event this year and tried to expand the scope of our topics. And we are venturing into new challenges. So this is on the beginning of day 2, but we would like you to know that Dev Day, this event will continue to evolve, and we hope you will continue to look forward for subsequent Dev Days. So these are hashtags, which are the variety of topics that this year's Dev Day touches upon. So Line excels in server-side development in a large-scale environment. This is, of course, showcased in this event. But we also have sessions on our recent key focus areas, such as machine learning and AI. And I believe you saw many sessions about machine learning and AI this year. This year, we have also added sessions like product management and UI and UX that expands the definition of development. And other than regular sessions, we also have booths and poster sessions that I hope you enjoy. So I believe you received a pamphlet at the reception. This is very well made, I must say. So today is a day for green sessions. As you know, the sessions are color-coded in blue and green. Day 1 was blue, and Day 2 is green. So actually, the light in this room was blue yesterday, but it's green today. If you see the water bottle was blue yesterday, and now it's green today. So these small details about events and designs are very particular, that we are very particular. So if you can go around and find these minute differences, I think that's another way of enjoying this event. These are some shots from Day 1. So as you can see, the basic color is blue, but today is green. So just remember, today is about green. So we had many guests participating and attending the session yesterday. For those who are here for the first time today, so I believe some of you went through a facial recognition check-in at the reception this morning. How was that experience? Did it misinterpret your face? Were you not able to check in using facial recognition? We actually tried it at the office. The response time was very fast and it was very accurate. So we think that this was a very interesting initiative that we took on this year. So now let me talk about LINE. LINE strives to be the lifeline that supports the user's life in various touchpoints. And to achieve this, we provide, especially recently, a variety of services through the LINE platform. And these services are also developed by us as first parties, but our platform is open, where our products can be developed by third parties as well. And with this environment, we encourage various developers to develop products. And today, you can leverage this platform in developing products. We have Hideyoki Kakiuchi, head of developer product, to introduce our developer products. Good morning, everyone. I am in charge of developer product. My name is Kakiuchi. Thank you for coming to Day 2 of LINE Developer Day 2019. So LINE is used by many users. So in hope to close the distance between the services you develop and the LINE users, we have continued to provide an environment that is open. And by using this environment, you can offer services to LINE users without having them download or install a separate app or sign up for membership. Let me cite some examples. Here we go. So this is an example of a pet insurance called iPet, who implemented Hachidori, a chatbot development tool. From the rich menu, users can easily choose an insurance plan that is perfect for their pets. So in the past, there are cases where users do not complete the insurance contract due to the lack of personal identification documents. However, by sending reminder messages that the necessary documents have not been submitted, they were able to reduce the number of incomplete contracts by 80%. This is an example of our technology having a direct impact on business. The next example is Vispo. Vispo uses Line's user interface and allows users to search for eateries based on location and other criteria, and also make reservations seamlessly. So similar other services would probably use Flex Message to display the search results to the users. However, I apologize, this slide is an image and it's not a video, and we cannot show you this in motion. However, Vispo leverages Rich Menu API, which dynamically switch the rich menu to display choices and information that is appropriate for each scene. So it does not interfere with the chat screen, so I think this is very useful. So this is an example of Jean's official account. They offer unique features such as supporting for selecting the perfect eyewear, receive information regarding wait time at the storefront, or a fun way to check which eyewear looks good on you leveraging their own AI technology, and this is provided on their rich menu. So on the Line's user interface, it's quite fun to choose the perfect eyewear for you. Also announced 2 days ago was Japan's first contact lens vending machine called Touch and Collect. This is also available from the Line's official account. You can register necessary information online, such as medical visit records, and users can purchase contact lenses on a vending machine without visiting a storefront. Users can pay using Line Pay and seamlessly receive the products. For instance, if you need to go on a business trip tomorrow but you ran out of your contacts, with this service, you can pick up the contacts right after work. We encourage you to try this out. As you can see, and through these efforts, many functionalities are now available. And to 2014 and 2015, Line Business Connect, or actually the Messaging API version 1 was open for a selective entities. Last year, we launched Line Things, which allows you to connect BLE devices to Line, and among various other features.
The one key enhancement was Messaging API. We first announced Messaging API back in Line Developer Day 2016 and released it on the same day. The launch of this new capability empowered developers to create services linked to Line official account. It's been 3 years since its first launch. Now, 1.5 million official accounts are leveraging Messaging API, which are collectively delivering This is confusing, but delivering 1.3 billion messages every single day. 1.3 billion might be beyond your imagination. It is an incredible number. Ensuring stable operation of this scale is quite a challenge. I hope I will have another opportunity to share more about this in the future. So, has anyone tried Messaging API right after the first launch? Anyone who has tried it before? Not really. Many of you might try it once, but never used it again. We have been enhancing Messaging API with more new features. Just like Flex Message that I talked about earlier, Quick Reply and Rich Menu API are available now, which allow you to easily create more stunning messages. You can also draw statistical insight. I encourage you to play with these new features for your own development project. Flex Message was released last year, and as you can see here, this gorgeous UI is now available, and we updated it in September this year. With this update, it allows more flexibility. You can fill a box with images and make rich messages. By fully leveraging Flex Message, you can reinvent your chatbot user experience for better users' impressions. Flex Message enables you to customize layout freely. Line Flex Message Simulator is available in our Line developers website. By using this, you are able to create Flex Message very easily and check the layout on the external browser real time. You can also fetch the result with JSON. You can build complex message to provide users with rich UX. This may drive your conversion rate more than just sending a text message. I am excited to see you enjoying this feature. Next is LIF. LIF stands for Line Front-End Framework. This is a framework for developing web applications operating Line. LIF has been playing multiple roles in Line. It looks like just a native app, but for example, you can add excitement to a chat room by setting animated GIF image just by tapping plus button on chat screen. Or you can play games online without a need of installing another app. Or you can use Starbucks membership card online, and it can be also useful for e-commerce. LIF is open so that developers can freely utilize it as they like. As LIF is a platform for web applications, you can develop your app with standard languages just like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But Line had not provided debugging tools in the past. And last month, in October, we released LIF version 2. What's the key update? LIF apps run only in Line in-app browser in the past, but with the update, LIF apps can also run in external browsers. Developers can do debugging in external browser using your tool, so I hope that this change will make your life a lot easier. Also, we added several other new capabilities. We actually have a dedicated section on LIF today at Hall B from 140. And also in the booth, we have a dedicated session there, and we have an expert there. So if you are interested in, please visit these sessions. Furthermore, Line Mini app is going to be available as a new service leveraging LIF platform. If you were here yesterday, I'm afraid this will be the second time for you, and I believe that half of you came to the Line Developer Day from Day2. So I brought you the same video from yesterday. So in this video, you will see a restaurant which published reservation function in Mini app by utilizing this platform. This home screen is new, and this is under testing. We are now running A/B testing. You can open Mini app from this home screen and also from search bar. First, while you are making reservation to a restaurant, you sometimes want to have a chat with your friends, so you can make Mini app screen smaller to chat with your friends. And of course, you can also send a rich content or message to your friends from a Mini. And what is distinctly different from LIF is that, as you can see here, even if you are not opening LIF, you can also send messages from Mini app. So let's say users can be notified from a Mini app on the reservation notifications, or sometimes users forget to go to the restaurant that they reserved, so they can get a notification of the reservation date. So I believe that this will enable you to improve the retention rate. Some of you here might be using Line for your own businesses. we are also on track to release features for you. I'd like to talk about these new features. The first is audience management. When you send messages from your official account, apart from broadcasting or user ID-based messages, we are also planning to release a new API enabling you to deliver messages by specifying audience. And the second is chat plugin. A chat screen on admin page of your Line official account. We have it on our smartphone or PC, and this chat screen can be augmented. I'm sorry that I couldn't show you the actual screen, but while you are having a chat, not only just sending a normal text message, you can also get the data of your product, inventory, or reservation date and send such information to your customers into your chat room with customers. So next is CMS API. We call the Line official account admin system as CMS, and many more features on official account admin page will be released. API for getting statistics is already available, and we are exploring a way to release API to add store membership reward cards or coupon features. And next is admin API. For businesses using Line services, they can now prepare their Line official account by themselves and get access token. When you need to develop a system that linked to Line, they have to get the access token from the developer center. So this hassle is going to be removed going forward. So other than this, we are going to provide many more developer products in the future. For example, the broadcast speed is too fast, so the customers often ask us to slow it down. So we're going to provide many more features that will benefit you. So that is all for my presentation about developer products. Now I'd like to welcome Mr. Ikebe back to the stage. He will talk about engineering culture.
Hello, I'm back. What did you think of our developer products? I think you'd agree that we have increased the number of functionalities, and development work should be a lot easier compared to before, thanks to these products. I hope you will try them out. From here, I'd like to talk about Line's engineering culture. I will talk about what kind of culture our engineers are working in and their mindset. Then, if you agree or empathize with this culture mindset, and if you're interested in working with us, we would like to welcome you to come visit us at the booth called Work at Line. We hope to see you there. The Line Group's development centers are around the world, not just in Japan. They're mainly focused in Japan. We have 10 development centers just in Japan. In addition to the Tokyo office, we have development centers in Kyoto and Fukuoka. Overseas, we have offices in Seoul, Taipei, and other locations where engineers are hard at work every day. When you look at the entire Line Group, we have around 2,500 engineers, and there are more than 700 engineers working in the 3 locations in Japan. These engineers are not all Japanese, of course. There are engineers from about 20 other countries coming to work here. So even our development offices in Japan are very multicultural. This photo is to show you a bit about our global offices. So, we are all working together from different locations around the world to build different products and services, which I hope you are all enjoying. For instance, the chat service, or for instance, we communicate amongst employees using chat and video chat, but we also encourage engineers to work face-to-face through business trips because we think that is also important to sometimes actually meet the people you work with. I wonder how it is like where you are working. Do you go on a lot of business trips? Business trips have a lot of good positive impacts. But if you take a plane to go to another country, there might be a time difference. Even to go to Korea, for instance, for us, it takes 1 to 2 hours. So it could be very tiring. So if you are too tired after the travel, if you have to work in an office after a long trip, that could be too exhausting. So to facilitate business trips from different aspects, we have a lot of different ways that we support engineers. For instance, if you look at the photo, you can see that there's a consistency in the space design. So that whether you are in Bundang or Hanoi or Taipei, you can instantly feel that you are at line. We have a dedicated team called the Space Design Team in the line group who are in charge of designing and building our offices. This team is in charge of designing great offices, as you see in the photos. This may not be very common in an IT company, would you say? We're very proud of this. For instance, architecture and interior design, or some of the areas that the space design team are experts in and professional in. So, for instance, today's venue was all designed by our space design team. So, in terms of preparing a great working environment, Line is heavily investing in making sure that engineers are working in a great office. This is not just about the office design, but for systems. For instance, we have a common Wi-Fi LAN network that is available worldwide so that no matter which office you go to in any country or region, employees can continue to use their usual Wi-Fi network so that they don't have to, for instance, apply for a new username and password and so on. You can feel like you are always working in a single line office that is global. And when we have so many offices in so many different locations, you have to make sure that employees can work comfortably. The very last session today will be in Hall A. That session will cover in more detail how we are designing our offices and how we are building the work culture here. So that was about offices. As engineers, we would call that the hardware. But there's also the other side. When we're working as multiple teams from different locations, we need to make sure we can share a similar mindset so that we can work towards a common goal. At Line, we have what's called the Line Style, which is a set of guidelines that create standards on how we can approach our work. There are 11 in total. And there is a booklet that's also available in PDF for all employees that is available from our corporate website that explains in more detail what each guideline means. We call this Line Style. This is not just applied to engineers, but the Line Style can also be applied to engineers' work. So let me tell you more about that. I'd like to focus on these three first. They're called users' rules, always data-driven, and perfect details. Users' rule means everything starts with user needs. Always data-driven is to say we want to prioritize facts over feelings. Perfect details is to say that we want to be detail-oriented. So, starting with the first guideline, we want to always prioritize user needs because we want to make our ultimate goal to provide the best service, the best, say, product for users. For some services that are already launched, we look at the data, analyze it to try to make improvements. Sometimes we also collect qualitative or quantitative data, and we have interviews with users to see if they are running into any problems, if they need any updates. And we analyze the results to apply them to our updates. As an internet service provider, we know that there's a lot of intense competition. In order to gain more fans, we are very detail-oriented because we feel that a small detail could go a long way. So we are constantly detail-oriented and data-driven to provide the best service that we can. Next, these are some of the other areas where the line style can apply. We call them work intensely and be focused. By this, we want to say it is important to work productively with a clear intention. Because if you are simply working productively, that is not necessarily producing results. You need to have a clear intention to make sure you're working on the right, let's say, task, requirement. For engineers, and since a lot of engineers might have a lot of manual work, that could be cumbersome, that could be a lot of stress. And it's always important to think, is this meaningful work, or is it something that we are simply continuing to do because it's legacy work, or it's been the tradition? And these are the kinds of questions that we always ask ourselves to make sure we are focused and we have a clear intention when we are working. Also, we want to make sure we are working efficiently and achieving the right goals. Another line style is called open communication. By this, we mean we want to encourage open discussions and entrust leaders to make the final decisions. Because we are working in teams. In a team, there are people who have been working for a long time, people who have only recently joined. We don't want to create any seniorities or make newbies feel intimidated to speak out. We want to make sure everyone feels respected and welcomed, and that everyone is equally respected when they have something to say. But when we set a goal and a decision needs to be made, we want to make sure the leaders are the ones to take responsibility. We feel that development leaders' responsibility is to make decisions and be responsible for them. The line styles that I have explained up to now are more of the mindset, but let's look at actual work that engineers do on a daily basis. First, the first keyword I'd like to introduce you is autonomous team. We don't want tasks to be constantly distributed from top down. We want to encourage everyone to find work that needs to be done and work autonomously. And when engineers are asked to find work or find things that they want to develop or improve, because we have so many projects that are running, let's say there is a certain project A, and an engineer is really interested in it, they want to get involved. These are the kinds of things we hear all the time. I'm working on project B, but I'm interested in project A. For instance, there's a tool called Opera. This shows which engineers are working on which areas and how much time and effort they are spending on that project. So everything is visualized. The great thing about visualizing workloads is, on one hand, it's great to track the workload of every engineer, but you can also see who worked on which functionality or which requirement. And if you have a question, if you're interested in something, you can casually send an email or reach out to them over different tools so that engineers can always work autonomously to find interesting work and look for tasks themselves and talk to the relevant people. I think a lot of people here are using Slack. We are also using Slack here and other tools and GitHub. So we are opening our code to all line engineers on GitHub. It is an enormous code set. And anyone can see what the behavior is, how the code is being written in a different area. So if they want to make improvements, they can. They can also ask for advice on different areas or different codes. Next is code review. I think a lot of you are familiar with code review. At Line, we are placing a lot of importance on code review for all development work at Line. We always make sure that all source codes are reviewed before they are merged. And for new engineers, they always have a mentor who support them to help them to integrate into their new team so that we can maintain a certain level of quality of our codes. I've never counted how many rows of codes we have, but we have probably in the millions. But I don't think there is a single line of code that has not been reviewed. I can say that with confidence. So through code reviewing, engineers can get peer advice. I'm sure some engineers are a bit nervous or maybe feel uneasy to get other engineers to read their code. But I'm hoping this creates positive peer pressure and helps engineers to grow their skills. And this contributes to building a stronger team. Last but not least, another keyword is outages retrospective. At Line, we have many users, and we're very grateful of that. And we are so-called social infrastructure when it comes to communicating online. And so when there is an outage that impacts millions of users, this is too big of a risk to take. But because our service is being run by people, nothing is perfect, and there's always a risk of an outage. Whenever we have an issue, it goes without saying that we need to resolve it as quickly as possible. But what's equally important is to learn from that outage and try to prevent it in the future. So we also focus on that part. So when an outage is recovered, that's not the end of the story. We need to find the cause, report it, record it. We have a log of all possible outages that have occurred in the past for all projects. All line engineers can access the outage retrospective reports to learn from them. There's one thing that we are making sure of when we create the reports. We make sure that we never specify the names of the people or the teams that were responsible for the outage. Because I don't think there's any good comes from naming names or teams that were responsible of major problems or outages. So instead of that, teams would gather to discuss why the outage occurred. If it was a human error, we talk about the possibility of automating that step or process and possibly creating redundant systems to prevent future outages. And we focus more on resolving problems and finding the root cause. That was an overview of line style and our development approach. The last line style is my favorite, and I think it nicely wraps up the entire line style. It is enjoy the challenges. Because engineering is a lot of work, because there's the pressure of preventing outages, which is not something that can be guaranteed because we are all human and there could always be errors. But taking on challenges is not just difficult, it is something that we can enjoy. And so we think that this culture is very important at Line, to enjoy the challenges, work with passion. We hope that through the Line Developer Day, you can learn a bit about Line's engineering culture and learn about what it's like to work as a line engineer here. Thank you very much.